Hello and welcome to another GM Tips with GM Rick. And today I'm going to do a little bit more into the review stage of things. And so I'm going to show you guys a book that I love a whole lot. And part of the blue is because I cover these to make sure the covers stay well. But the Pathfinder's version of Freeport City of Adventure, the Ultimate Urban Campaign Setting. Now, mind you, even though this is for Pathfinder, they do, I believe, have a D&D 5 version of it as well that is coming out, if it already is now. If you love pirates, if you love sea campaigns, if you love a port of call that's going to give you a ton of adventures and will really be a center hub for your players, Freeport is that. Freeport has been around for many versions, since 3.5 and back. Green Ronin's done a tremendous job of keeping it up to keep up with the times. And they've done a great job in their conversions. Now, the thing I love about this for Pathfinder is because it can replace, in the Pathfinder campaign, the Inner Sea campaign guide for Galarian. It can replace Port Peril, or it can be a separate port set up in the Shackle Islands. Or you can even take it somewhere else in the world and put it somewhere like Castrovel, or not Castrovel, but I'm thinking of a different world, Casmaron, or somewhere like that. The nice thing, too, about Freeport is it can be a standalone campaign. One of the things that they have in the guide that I really like, and I will show it to you guys, is they do something on their own world. So they do a history. First of all, I like a history guide. And it goes through the bloody history of Freeport, taking you all the way up to the present timeline. Now, mind you, you're going to have to adapt this timeline a little bit to whatever system you play in. And so I'm going to get real close here so you can see some of the timeline. The timeline is really strong when it comes through, and they explain the rise of Freeport as a city. It has many districts. The things I love about it is it does have so many districts. The districts include the docks, Scurvy Town. Gotta love something named Scurvy Town if you're a pirate enthusiast. The Eastern District, Drag's End, like dragon, Drag's End. Nice little pun, Green Ronin, love that. Temple District, the Merchant District, the Warehouse District, the Old City, Blood Salt. Now you gotta like that. And those are all the different places, and they go through part of how thick this is. And look at how thick this book is. It is literally one of the thickest campaign guides I've had in a long time. Love the quality, Green Ronin. They go through a lot of the different things that go with the campaign itself. And so I'm going to take a look, first of all, into the world itself. So Beyond Freeport, which is on page 287, takes you to their world. Why do I bring this up? Because in Beyond Freeport, you have a full-on campaign of adventures that they take a whole section to go through, and they talk about Freeport as a standalone world. They have the continent nations, the Bone Lands, Drujadin, and a beautiful color map of the continent, and I like this. They have Hexworth and Iovan, the Ivory Ports, Kismir, Roland, and they go through and give you a full continental timeline. Now, for GMs, the nice thing about that is you don't have to go make up your own. They give you the different leagues and groups that are in there, as well as the denizens of Freeport. They have a whole section on just NPCs. God bless somebody for finally doing that without coming out with their own guide. And they literally give you the stats converted into the system that you are playing, and some background on all the characters. Plus, they just give you random adventure encounter people that you can run into in the city itself. You gotta love those kind of things. For a GM, it's easy, gives you the experience, gives you all the things you need to know. Now, they've got new races, like the Azar, the fire race. They have the island trolls. So you have your own trolls that are there. They give you, and they're a nasty looking little lot themselves as a playable race. Gotta love that. They got a lot of unusual races like the Asmar, the Bugbear, the Changeling. So they follow along with the unusual and the usual races. They even have Freeport classes. So the Freebooter, that's your pirate of fortune. Gotta love those. So they give that to you now. Mind you, also convertible into Lone Wolf or Lone Wolf Games, which is Hero Lab. So keep that in mind. The Monster Slayer. Lord knows we don't need a Monster Slayer, right? In all these adventures we're in. So you have the Monster Slayer, but we don't stop there. It continues. So we go from the Monster Slayer to the Noble. Mind you, an aristocrat, but they flesh it out pretty darn well. So you have your Noble class. You have your Cultist NPC class. Gotta love having the Cultist. And then they have their own archetypes. So Freeport has its own archetypes set up. I love all this included. They got variant adept rules, the Musketeer. And then they've got supplemental rules. But not only that, they've got gods and goddesses. So if you don't like the Galarian gods and goddesses, or maybe you do, and you want to add some other ones, you can do this. They've got all the different supplemental rules that they throw in there, plus spells. They did their own spell section. And they have different places of legend that you can go find out about. Again, and then in a sample adventure, huge book, huge value. Lots of history, lots of richness. Now, for me, I like sea campaigns and pirate campaigns. Always have, always will. There is something unnerving about your players playing on a boat. And it is not easy peasy for them to stand on a boat, do combat. They have to take special feats and skill sets that maybe they're not ready to. And maybe they don't think about in the beginning, so they don't take them. They have to learn the trade of working on a ship. They have to get used to the docks area. There is a lot of just nasty individuals that become pirates, as well as really good ones that become more your privateers. So you can do a lot of campaigns around Freeport. Freeport allows for slavery, mind you, or the fighting of slavery. It is a doable thing that is addable either way, which kind of matches up with the Shackle Isles, which the Shackle Isles have slavery and freed slaves. So you get a little bit of both. So keep in mind, as you're looking for something that's unique for your players, this is something that gives you enough rich content that it's real easy to spin a campaign around. And it's well worth the money. It's a $70 book. But, mind you, $70 for your own prepped campaign. That is easy to modify, easy to throw into any system. This can go into Faerun. This can go into good old Greyhawk. This can go into Ghost Realm or Ghost Walk. This can go into Eberron. This can go into pretty much any world that you set up. You don't have to use the material, or you can use the material. Don't have time to spin your own campaign world. Again, it's got the inclusion of all these empires plus histories for them. That's a thing that I love as a GM because you have options, which, again, some of the material, I love Pathfinder, I love D&D. Both of them have good material, don't get me wrong, but sometimes real hard to modify and move into another system. This makes it really easy. Green Ronin even has its own system if you want to do just a D20 system. Say an 1800s pirate campaign. You can do that as well with Freeport. It's real easy to use with a lot of different rule systems. But it gives you that flair. And the great dramatics of this is they have the serpent people. So your Yuan-Ti are a major factor in Freeport, as are your nations that fight against these. Again, Freeport is sided with many of the mainland nations. You can do the same with the mainland nations like the Mwangi Expanse in Pathfinder, Rahadum. You could have them ally with these nations and then also break off like this history has given you. So you can easily drop in names of other nations to be these ones. And it makes a big difference here. So keep those things in mind as you're looking at this and as you're thinking about this. It gives you that really richness. And some of the things that I like, and these are things that just outside of the things we talked about. Now, nice thing is they give you a great inner cover with lots of maps. So you have lots of Freeport district maps that you can come up with. But it also details each of the districts and cuts out the map for just that district. So you can drill down a lot easier to finding shops, places of interest, and things that make it a really fun place to adventure or kind of get your feet under you. I love that it gives you a section on life in Freeport, and they talk about the people of Freeport, the culture, the languages, the currency, the major industries, education, technology, and magic, customs and holidays, and the types of entertainment in the city. A lot of the material leaves that to you as a GM in a lot of systems. And that's great if you have the time or want to think it off the fly. But I like this because you can read this section and get a good idea in your mind what's there, and then you can adapt it a lot easier on the fly. So for me as a GM, I like that a lot. It gives you the government, so it goes into the government, and then also the Sea Lord's Guard, which is the special guard that guards the city. Mind you, a pirate city with guards and law. That's a whole other thing that you can have some fun with. The Admiralty, those are the royalty of this area. The admirals ruled this city. And so in order to become a part of this, you have to rule it with them. It goes into the religion and the underworld there. So keep those things in mind. I'll be right back. Sorry. I got to every once in a while as a dad and as a fiance do these things. I'm glad you guys put up with me through that stuff. I know some of you could comment and say, Rick, cut it out. So even in the locations, I love that they drill down and give you places, dwellers, and what the background in each area is. So in some cases, it'll even say places of interest. So they've got the places of interest at the docks, the locations of interest in the Eastern District, or in Drax Inn. They give you a little bit of history to it. Now, under the new spells, they have also pirate-flavored or sea-flavored magic items that are set just for that. And see, for me, that is a big deal when it comes to that. So keep that in mind. So let's turn back and look at a couple of these items. So I'm going to go to 458, which is all the magic items section. So in 458, past the spells and magic, is a section that is specifically on the items that are really key. So one of the items is a bag of wind. Gee, not that a ship would ever need a bag of wind to give you a constant gust of wind spell. They give you the Shadow Dagger, or I love this one, the special Cutlass Sword, which is the Serpent's Master. Another item that is a Huntsman Reptilian Bane crossbow. You've got a boarding whip that you can use. The Ballista of Piercing. Finally, magic siege engine type of artifacts. You would think a sea campaign, you'd have magic siege weapons that are unique. Not always so in all these campaigns. Some of them they have them, some of them they don't. Beam Splitter, something that allows you to crack through the hull of a ship. It's a boarding axe that will let you go through that. So there's some really interesting items. Ring of the Monkey. Gee, imagine you needing to swing from place to place on a ship without getting killed. Well, the Ring of the Monkey can help you with that. The Rod of the Buccaneer. This can switch to several different items. It can become a +2 keen cutlass, a +3 whale spear, or a +4 punching dagger, or it becomes a masterwork spyglass. What a useful item for a captain of a ship. Yes, this is more of a 30,000 gold piece item, but it's something really unique for it. The Armillary Sphere, I like this one. It has maps of the heavens that you can navigate with. It's a wondrous item. It can let you teleport places. Again, useful items that are wrapped around ocean adventures. Yes, in the back of the Skulls and Shackles, they have items like this. So Paizo, no knocks to you guys. But in a Freeport world where everything pretty much is on the sea and deals with the sea, most of their magic items are sea items that a pirate or a free what do they call them? A free Buccaneer or a freebooter, somebody that is a smuggler, can use. And those are things that are invaluable when you're looking at items that people can get in the port. Now, Freeport is a metropolis. So using guides like the Heroes of the Street, real easy to convert there, or the Magic Tactic Toolbox. They're going to have wizards colleges, even in a pirate city. I like this because, no offense, Port Peril is a big city in the Shackle Isles, in Pathfinder, and in the Galarian system. Freeport takes it to a mega steroid level of another type of thing. So keep that in mind. Again, worth the purchase. My deal, I say I give it 5 stars out of 5. It is really a tremendously well done book. So keep that in mind. Thank you for taking some time. I wanted to do this review on Freeport and really take you guys through it because I think it's something you'll want to use in your campaign and your system. It gives you something new, and it's easy to use when it comes as a complete package. I would say this. Challenge to Paizo, and I know you guys love when I do this to you guys, and a challenge to Wizards, both. Come up with cities like this. Wizards, you used to have Waterdeep. You need another Waterdeep book. And Paizo, you need an Absalom book for this. Thanks, and have a great one.